The 5-element fists are the foundational techniques of Xingyi Quan, and they give rise to all other techniques. Hence, they are referred to classically as the mother fists. The key function of practicing the 5-element fists is to develop specific vectors of force. Each individual element focuses on specific vectors of force, which are manifested through body mechanics. It is these vectors of force which are applied to and give rise to all other techniques, literally the elements included in all actions. Pi Quan, or splitting fist, is the first of the 5 elements. The classics state, the element that split relates to is metal. Its form is like an axe. It nourishes the respiratory system. The reference to the axe describes its action and vector of force, namely that of splitting by chopping down and forward, like an axe splitting wood. Power is applied from above and descends in an arc towards the front. While there are numerous variations of Pi Quan, in this primer video I shall cover the fundamental details and standard execution within my Hebei line of Xingyi Quan. In general, all methods and variations of Pi Quan adhere to and implement the principles that I shall present here. Upper body focused practice is performed with a fixed stance. Stand upright with the feet parallel and at shoulder width apart. Extend the left hand ahead and place the right hand on the dantian and push the left shoulder ahead slightly as you would in the Santi Shi position. Clench both hands to form fists and pull the left fist down to meet the right fist at the lower abdomen. Be sure to hug both elbows tightly onto the ribs throughout this motion. Draw the left fist up the abdomen, past the solar plexus, and then drill it forward and out up to nose height. Ensure that the elbow is tucked in while you extend and drill by twisting the ulnar edge of the forearm and the little finger up. The fist heart is facing upwards. Now draw the right fist up the abdomen to the solar plexus and out to meet the left elbow. Move it out along the left forearm with the fist heart facing up. As the right fist meets the left fist, unclench both fists and rotate them inwards so the palms face down and forwards. Continue to chop the right palm down and forwards to chest height as you pull the left arm back and down to the abdomen. Ensure you keep the elbow of the splitting arm slightly bent and urge the shoulder forward into the strike while pressing the crown of the head up. Practice on the spot, alternating between the left arm and the right arm. Pay attention to the requirements regarding each part of the technique. When pulling the extended fist down to the lower abdomen, ensure you twist your waist and core and do not simply utilize the arm alone. When the fist drills up and out, ensure that the ulnar edge and the little finger are turned upwards by tightly twisting the forearm inwards. This will ensure that the elbow is drawn into and tracks on the center line of the body and doesn't protrude outwards. This is referred to classically as Xingyi Quan, or rising and drilling, which develops the body mechanics of contracting and closing. The back of the wrist of the drilling arm should form a straight line with the wrist and forearm, and you should not bend the wrist. Ensure you focus on maintaining the lead fist at nose height until the rear fist travels up the forearm and meets it. Unclench the fists and turn them over as you split the rear hand forward and down, while the lower hand is drawn down to the lower abdomen. This is referred to classically as luo fan, or descending and overturning, which develops the body mechanics of expanding and opening. When drilling and splitting, ensure you urge the shoulder forward by utilizing the waist, and follow through utilizing the whole body behind the strike, as opposed to a slap with the arm. Practice Pi Quan on the spot, focusing on the upper body until the motion feels natural and the above principles are maintained. You may practice slowly at first in order to ensure the correct technique. Once you have a basic grasp of this, you will be ready to combine the hand and foot motions. Fixed step Pi Quan features a single step for each Pi Quan executed, without the initial Dianbu or pad step or the Gunbu or follow-in step. Each Pi Quan you execute features the rear hand coming through with the advance of the rear foot in a single split action, which finishes in the Santi Shi position. This method is good for beginners prior to moving on to the standard aligned stance Pi Quan with full stepping. Standing in the left Santi Shi position, execute the upper body actions for Pi Quan by clenching both fists and drawing the left fist down to the lower abdomen and drilling it forward and out to nose height. Advance the right foot forward as you move the right fist up and forward along the left forearm, turning the fists over and forming palms as they meet. Continue to split forward and down as the right foot moves ahead and lands as you split to chest height. As the lead foot lands, swivel the rear foot out 45 degrees to form the Santi Shi stance. Continue doing Pi Quan in this fashion, alternating between left and right. The goal is to maintain the same height throughout the entire execution of each Pi Quan. The split must be completed as the foot lands, which means that the entire body action must be coordinated with the stepping in an integrated manner. This is in line with a classical saying, 手脚齐刀, or the hands and feet arrive together. It is imperative that you implement all the requirements as mentioned in the upper body focused practice section of this primer video when executing the stepping in the fixed step Pi Quan practice. Standard Pi Quan is executed with a full advancing step. This stepping method was covered in a previous 10-minute footwork primer, which you may review first. The handwork details explained already in this primer video are to be combined with the full advancing step in an aligned stance or shunbu. From a left Santi Shi position, execute the Pi Quan handwork actions. As you drill the left fist forward and out to nose height, execute a Dianbu or pad step with your left leg and immediately bring the right foot in parallel to the ground next to the lead foot. Keep the legs bent and the knees together. As your lower hand rises and follows your extended arm's forearm, stride the right foot forward and step through as you execute the Pi Quan, splitting forward and down. The split should be completed as the foot lands, followed by a follow-in step with the left foot. Continue alternating between left and right. When you initially start practicing Pi Quan with a full advancing step, it is advisable that you utilize a staccato rhythm, breaking up and focusing on each part of the movement clearly. When executing the initial drill, ensure that your pad step lands as the fist reaches its apex. In the beginning stages, you may pause midway through the step through and touch the toes of the rear foot on the floor next to the ankle of the lead foot for balance. Following the split, ensure your follow-in step is drawn in quickly and the length of the stance will be slightly shorter than in Santi Shi. As you progress, you should aim to make Pi Quan one continuous flowing action while maintaining all its herewith described requirements. As with each of the 5 elements fists, Pi Quan requires daily repetition and long-term focused practice in order for the correct body mechanics, actions, and force vector to manifest. Pi Quan's force vector is down and forwards, and this is the essence of its practice, which must be developed and maintained at all times. While deeper details regarding Pi Quan's practice, its variations and applications should be attained through direct transmission by learning from an authentic teacher, the details covered in this primer video will enable you to begin or correct your practice as your entry into the 5-element fists.